Hey guys, Joe here at JP Details, and today you are joining me at a Ford tuning specialist in Saint Albans, which is just north of London, who are called SCC Performance, short for Saint Albans Car Clinic. I chose these guys to take my Ford Focus RS Mark II from running around 320 brake horsepower all the way up to potentially 425 brake horsepower via the Revo Stage 4 Plus tuning package. I felt good after having a chat to one of the owners about the potential options for the car, so I went ahead and got booked in. Me and Ryan made the journey down to SCC Performance, with myself leaving home at 5:30 AM. If you were following me on Instagram, then you would have already seen various videos from the car being dropped off and when it was picked back up. Feel free to check out my Insta stories and be sure to give me a follow if you haven't already. Another lad that's been helping me out with some of the options when it comes to parts, as the choices are endless, is a guy called Josh, aka the Apex Legend / Bend. He owns a few rapid Vauxhalls, so if that's your thing then please do give him a follow on Insta. His socials are linked below. We have various things to be fitted to make up for this Revo Stage 4 Plus upgrade, including the AirTech Stage 3 intercooler with a 100mm core, an uprated fuel pump, 750cc injectors, Denso spark plugs, a full Samco hose set in blue, a Turbo Smart actuator and a Turbo Smart internal dump valve. A Stage 3 induction kit in carbon fibre, a big boost crossover pipe, a billet alloy cam belt pulley and 4 more strut braces. A Felix 6-paddle clutch I believe, and a lightened flywheel, as I recently buggered the standard clutch. It's also having the cam belt, timing belt and water pump done, as the car is now 10 years old. The engine and gearbox oil are going to be changed with Miller's race oil, and finally the Revo Stage 4 Plus map, which should see the car anywhere up to 425 brake horsepower. Off the top of my memory, whilst recording this script 2 months down the line, that's the bulk of the work that the guys are going to be doing. A few other little niggly jobs like sorting out the traction control and airbag lights on the dash, which has been very annoying since swapping the seats over to the Sparkos, and the positive battery terminal needs swapping out for a new one. It's recently had a fresh MOT put on it, so when I pick it up in a few days time, it should be all good to go. At this point I didn't capture any DSLR footage when I picked the car back up, so here's how it currently stands on the lift in the unit. I've recently fitted a few carbon fibre effect engine bay pieces, which is a bit annoying that they aren't all the same colour or shade of carbon. In terms of the car's power difference, then it's absolutely massive. Potential gain of 105 brake horsepower and possibly 105 if not slightly more foot-pounds of torque. Saying I was impressed on the drive home would be a huge understatement. The new race clutch is very heavy, but it still needs bedding in. The induction kit, recirc valve and dump valve, combined with the fact the car is now running so much better and with more boost, the car sounds incredible, both performance related and its running smoothness. It isn't lumpy in the slightest, it's just a pure brilliant tone through the rev range, which does give you the confidence to keep driving it. You could rev the car before and it would splutter and pop and bang, whereas now it's just pure revs and it simply won't let out a bang unless you are out on the road shifting through gears. A pure driver's car now turned into even more of a driver's car, which has been worth every penny. I took the car on a weekend away to London recently, and if you were following me on Instagram then you'd have already seen various photos and videos. Well, what I learned from taking the car on this open pit lane event at Brands Hatch is that the car is now in need of some semi-slicks. The Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres are an incredible tyre, but pushing the horsepower that I'm now pushing, then these tyres just don't offer enough grip to reduce those lap times. On the last corner at Brands Hatch, the Focus was pushing round in 4th gear, up towards 80 miles per hour. On the exit the car was torque steering and spinning up, meaning I had to shift into 5th. Semi-slicks would offer me that extra bit of grip to help put the power down. I found it far easier to leave the car in 3rd around some corners that would possibly warrant 2nd, simply because the car would chew through the tyres, lighting them up coming out of every 2nd gear corner. I'd let it gradually build on boost in 3rd and usually shift up to 4th, back straight towards the braking zone in 5th gear doing 125 miles per hour. The car is really only just getting started. 160 before you know it, then you soon realise there isn't a speed limiter anymore, giving me a massive urge to hit the autobahn to see if I can break 180. Sometimes I do ask myself why I haven't gone through all of this effort and expense on, let's say, a rear-wheel drive car. Well, the answer is very simple. The Focus RS Mark II has been my realistic dream car since it first came out in 2009. Whereas something like a BMW E92 M3 never even clocked my radar until, funnily enough, I started doing maintenance washes on one when I first ever started the business. Other vehicles that could potentially replace the RS would be a Lotus Exige, which I struggled to keep with that brand, but he was running semi-slicks. An Ariel Atom, a Caterham, an Evo, a Scooby, or even better, a Cayman GT4 Club Sport. For now, I think the Focus is nearly finished with a few final fettles to faff around with. Apart from that, I think I'll be content with the power and save money for the next project rather than blowing it all on the Focus. I'd rather have a 600 horsepower Cayman GT4 than a 600 horsepower Focus RS. I have actually recently acquired a 300 brake horsepower rear wheel drive vehicle, so to be fair, I do now have the best choice of two worlds. Both cars are fun and I do need to get my new one on track, but if it wasn't for COVID shutting all of the race circuits down, then I'd actually be doing one in a few days' time. I did consider strapping a few cameras to the Focus and then using that as the footage for this video, but because the car is so clean, it won't be going out just yet. I'll have to leave you with the footage from the Brands Hatch track day to give you a gist of how the car is now pulling and sounding since the rather expensive upgrade. In terms of the car, then the brakes, handling, interior, power and maintenance are all sorted. The final thing left to do is to enjoy the car. I'm incredibly pleased with it, and apart from a few additional potential small upgrades and additions, the car is more or less finished. On stock internals, the car is now running maximum power, so if I wanted more, it would have to be forged. I don't think I'll be going down the forging and bigger turbo route for this particular car, as the expense is more than likely going to be the best part of 10 grand. Better put towards the Focus's replacement in a few years' time, I believe. I have recently purchased a full bolt-in roll cage which must weigh around 70 kilograms. Pretty sure I've changed my mind and I'll bang it on eBay to get the money back. An impulse buy and also scrap the idea for the Perspex windows. I'd rather keep the car more comfortable now it's got the extra power and also the AC for the European road trips next year. Either way, I am going to be hitting the track days at the very next opportunity after this second lockdown is finished, and I can assure you that I am going to enjoy the car for the reason it was built in the first place, which is to be driven like an absolute yob, but only on the racetrack. As always, thank you for watching, and please do make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with those notifications turned fully on. Please do give me a follow on Facebook and Instagram, just search JP Details, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one.